Well, welcome to Matinee Heroes presents Cast Off. If you don't know Matinee Heroes is a movie podcast by myself and my lovely, wonderful, amazing film critic partner, Alan Serna, who is here today. Alan, how are you, sir?
I'm great.
I think this might be the very first Cast Off you've seen.
I've watched them before.
Okay, he's watched a couple, but for those of you who don't know, Matinee Heroes, we talk about movies, and we love movies so much that we also love actors. And so every movie we do, we also recast that movie. Not because we don't like the actors, but because we love the characters, and we think those characters could be done so many different ways. Think of it as the multiverse comes to movies. So we'll start off with, we normally had Liz Serna was supposed to be here from the Nerdy Bees, and unfortunately had an illness and couldn't make it, so we swapped her out with her partner, Heather, from the Nerdy Bees.
Hello.
So talk about the Nerdy Bees a little bit. What do you guys do? Because you had a podcast yesterday.
Yes, we're a pop culture podcast, and we talk about things from a lady's perspective. We were live here yesterday talking about 90s movies, or 90s television, remakes, reboots, whatnot. So be sure to listen to our live show again when it gets uploaded to the interwebs, right? And all your podcatchers.
And the fun thing is, she did not recast these. She's doing Liz recast, so she doesn't know half the people in the recast. So this ought to be fun as she explains why.
I think I know her well enough to probably understand why.
Yeah, you guys have synced up.
Hopefully this
That's
works to
messed
my
up.
advantage.
Yeah. Well, and of course we have Jared McClelland from the Houston Independent Podcast Society.
That is me.
So explain that, because we lived here in Houston for many, many years. We recently relocated to California, and since that happened, you guys decided, well, we need a community to replace the prices, because they're the podcasting power couple. So what is this
of course.
society?
Okay, so Houston Indie Podcast Society is a community that is based upon bringing indie podcasters together and also just fans of podcasting and just networking, having some fun. There's definitely some places that you can go in Houston where you can get the educational side of things. We're more along the lines of a little bit of educational, but mostly we're just there to have fun, hang out, and network.
Yeah, it's more of a connection. It's a hub.
Yeah, most definitely. This is something that Ming Chen is a part of, actually, and Carrie Gordon. Carrie Gordon runs the podcast group with Comicpalooza. So.
And a shout out to Carrie Gordon. He's our Matinee Heroes Disneyphile. He comes on the show whenever we talk about Disney movies, and he put us in connection with you to be on the show. So thank you very much, Carrie. Let's get to the rules of the game. They're fairly simple because we are the #1 podcasting show that does recasting on the internet, because we're the only show that does recasting. Also, Matinee Heroes is huge in Kuwait, and I think we're also big in Indochina. So we're really big overseas. If you haven't heard from us, we're big deals outside of Houston. So the rules are simple. I'm going to put up a character from The Mandalorian. They are going to give me a replacement actor. You guys are going to judge, and the best choice gets a point. But I also have been judging. I also have selected. I have secret selections, and if you pick the same selection as me, you get a bonus point. And they don't know what I've selected. I didn't know what they did beforehand. We all picked at the same time in secret. Obviously, the person with the most points wins. And if there is a tie, we're going to do a double feature, which we'll explain when that happens. But basically, they're going to tell me a double feature that would go with The Mandalorian. So, if you're ready, I do want to remind everybody that this is a Matinee Heroes sponsored show, and every week we have a podcast at matineeheroes.com. This coming week, we are going to do Independence Day. We have no sense of time or concept of planning, so we decided to do Independence Day at the end of July. Head over to matineeheroes.com/subscribe. And while you're there, you can head over to matineeheroes.com/castoff and subscribe to the video feed, because Matinee Heroes is an audio podcast. Castoff is a video stream we do every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central. So let's get on to The Mandalorian. Any Mandalorian fans here? Yeah, all right. So we're going to start off with Pedro Pascal's The Mandalorian. I know his name is it starts with 2 D's. He's the Mandalorian. He'll always be the Mandalorian.
This is the way.
Now, I have flipped a coin, and Elizabeth won, so we're going to start with Heather. Heather, who do you have playing the laconic, the refuses to take his hat off at the table, the Mandalorian?
Okay, there's a very good reason for this pick, and I think that like all of the women out there, and maybe anybody that's attracted to women out there, understands that we never saw him take his helmet off, but we knew the Mandalorian was hot, right? So we went with the iconic Sam Elliott.
We went with a young Sam Elliott who's sexy. This is the sexified Sam Elliott.
It didn't matter. He didn't take his helmet off, right?
So he's known for his luxurious mustaches. He's a great actor, too, so people forget that. He's not just a voice and a mustache. He was great in The Mask, The Quick and the Dead, which we did on Matinee Heroes. Of course, he's wonderful in Roadhouse, Tombstone, and, of course, I guess he's an angel? What is he in The Big Lebowski? He's like the conscience? He's a cosmic entity. Yeah, he's the cowboy. So, Jared, that's a pretty tough combination. That's the Sam Elliott. Who do you got to go up against Sam Elliott?
That is a pretty tough competition right there because, I mean, obviously Sam Elliott's great. I chose someone who actually has captain skills. He was actually Captain Mal in Firefly. This was totally my number one pick, and that's Nathan Fillion.
Absolutely. Nathan Fillion, or otherwise the poor man's Han Solo. We love Nathan Fillion. He's great. Saving Private Ryan, we saw him cry because he was supposed to be the actual Ryan, but it wasn't him. Serenity, obviously. We'll see him in the new Suicide Squad using his arms in ways we've never seen him use arms before. And he's done quite well on TV with The Rookie and Castle. So,
yeah,
And Rain or Shine on Modern Family.
Oh, that's right. He's Rainer Shine, the weatherman who dated, what's-her-face?
Yeah.
So here we go. This is where I turn to the audience. We have Sam Elliott. We have Nathan Fillion. So, how many people here think Sam Elliott would be a great Mandalorian? All right. How many people here think Nathan Fillion? I'm sorry, but Sam Elliott gets the point on that one. That's the good thing about having such a small audience. I can tell the difference between 5 claps and 4. It's a 20% difference. I went with Carl Urban because Carl Urban was great in Judge Dredd and didn't take his helmet off either. And he's my go-to guy if you need just a tough guy. Well, now we get to Cara Dune. She was the Imperial soldier who became a rebel, is that right? So we will turn over to Jared. Jared, who do you have playing Cara Dune, the tough and mighty?
I definitely wanted to pick somebody who, in my mind, is way more bad A than she is. And I went with Zazie Beetz.
Yeah.
Yes. Zazie Beetz, known for being lucky, and I say that because she was Domino. In Deadpool. Oh, go back. I ruined it. Atlanta. She was in Geostorm, Joker, and a show called Wolves that I'm not aware of.
And Atlanta.
Well, Atlanta's there.
Oh, you did
I have
put
it. Oh,
Atlanta.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't hear Atlanta.
She was
Sorry.
too. She's right up there.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of give it away, but what do we have for up against Zazie Beetz?
Yeah, so went with Zoe Kravitz. Like to actually see her do some more action, right?
Well, she's known for a lot of angelic characters because she's in X-Men First Class. She played like an angelic butterfly lady. Mm-hmm. She was one of the mothers in Mad Max Fury Road, Fantastic Beasts movies. She's high fidelity, and she's going to be in the new Batman. So I like that. First, I like the diversity. Sick of seeing a whole white crew. This is good. Yeah. We've got Zazie Beetz. I just love the name. It sounds like headphones I should buy. Do you have a pair of those Zazie Beetz on you? And we have Zoe Kravitz, who comes from like the most beautiful family in the history of families.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So who do we have to go for? Who thinks that Zazie Beetz should be Cara Dune? Who's going with Zoe Kravitz? And a hush falls over the crowd.
I think I got that one.
I think you got that one. Yeah. Of course, I went with someone I know can kick butt and is beautiful and wonderful. I went with the great Pam Grier in her prime. Well, now we get to the legend. Carl Weathers as, I hate his name though, it feels as Grief Karga He is the fixer. He's the man in the middle who gets all the bounty hunters their stuff. He's in charge of the Bounty Hunters Guild. So we're going to start with Heather. Who do you have playing basically the guy who doles out all the jobs for the bounty hunters?
Well, we went a little old school for this one.
Yes.
So, going back straight Gen X nostalgia, we went with George Papard. Is that how you pronounce his name?
You did a good job.
Because he leads the A-Team, so why not?
Yep. He's known for loving plans, especially when they come together. So he was in Breakfast at Tiffany's, which I forgot that he was in that, and the very horrible Battle Beyond the Stars.
Which we will cover.
We will cover on a Patreon, where someone will have to pay me to do that one. And of course,
Better than you think.
it has to be better than I think. It couldn't be possibly worse. And then, of course, for the old school 70s crowd, Banachek, which is always a great one. You got the A-Team, cigar chomping, loving guy. So who do you have to go up against George Papard?
I do want to preface this real quick. I wanted to pick people that could currently play the roles. I didn't necessarily go with the whole time and space thing. I went with people who could do the role right now if they were asked. And this person was on the top of my list. I did have a few other options, but as soon as I heard that he was going to be here, it was the choice. Danny Trejo.
Oh,
yes.
That is a good choice.
Danny Trejo sucking up to the audience already. Good job. You got to play the audience too, because they're
You
voting.
have to, yeah.
Hey, that's one way to play the game. You can go with the best person. You can go with the best person that'll get voted for.
Or the best person and the best person that's going to
and-
be voted for.
And Danny Trejo is a sweetheart, which is why I got him hugging
A Muppet.
the chef. Yeah,
One
course.
of the best celebrity stories I think ever.
Well, that and you've already manipulated the audience because you've manipulated the audience with that picture and you manipulated the audience with your choice. And so I'm calling BS. Okay,
All right.
and I have a terrible pick.
All right.
So, okay.
We'll go to the commission. The commissioner says, sorry, you get what you get. Well, he is known for having the most on-screen deaths of any actor. So if you want someone to die, no, sorry, Sean Bean, that's only if we really want someone English to die. We want someone who's wholesome and American, who comes from East LA, we go with Danny Trejo. And of course, he was in The Magnificent Heat, which we've done on Matinee Heroes. He is Machete in Machete Kills. From Dusk to Dawn, but then he has got the softer side with Spy Kids and Muppets Most Wanted. We've got George Papard, Danny Trejo. So who thinks George Papard? The old man up front. Who goes with Danny Trejo? The rest of civilization. I think Danny Trejo gets that one as well, and that means Jared has a 1-point lead. Is now 2-1. I went with Michael Rooker.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Because I like Michael Rooker. I think he plays good bad guys. Oh, one of the best accents in the history of cinema, not only as a director, but as an actor as well. We have Werner Herzog playing the client. And so we'll start with, I think it's Elizabeth's.
Oh.
No, it's your turn.
It should be mine. I
Who do you
believe.
have as the client? And your pick is very interesting.
This one was very tough because he is such an amazing actor. And so recasting this role is very hard. But I went with David Bradley.
David Bradley, yes.
Yeah. I can see
Walder
it.
Frey also played the Doctor in William Hartnell.
He's been in the Harry Potter movies. He was in Hot Fuzz. One of my favorite movies that we're going to do, The Frisco Kid, because it's a Harrison Ford movie with Gene Wilder.
We haven't done a Harrison Ford movie ever.
No, we have not. Harrison Ford has sorely lacked on Matinee Heroes. But he does play the great cranky old man types, especially in the Harry Potter as the janitor.
Yeah.
Who is he and Nicholas Nickleby?
He was in it. That's all I know.
Okay.
I don't ask. I just tell.
Okay.
So who do you have to go up against David Bradley?
Okay. So we were looking for corrupt, really generic, corrupt white dude. So Powers Booth.
Powers Booth, absolutely. Because he's never good. He's a charismatic, tough guy. He was in Red Dawn, Tombstone, The Avengers, all three of those movies we've done for Matinee Heroes. But he was also in Sudden Death, and I think the person that fits this one is his portrayal as the crooked politician in Sin City. Or was he a politician or a crime boss? a senator, I think.
Yeah, he was a senator.
Yeah, he was a senator. So that kind of gives you the situation we're in. So we've got David Bradley from Harry Potter. Why would you go against someone from Harry Potter? They're so
He's
sweet.
not a good person in Harry Potter.
Powers Booth from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because he was also in the Avengers movie. One of the few people to cross over from the TV into the movie world. So who wants David Bradley? Nobody. One guy over there.
We've got a couple.
One pity clap. That was a pity clap.
It
For
was a pity
Walter
clap.
Frey,
That's all
I
right.
think is what he just clapped for Walter Frey. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And who thinks Power Booth would be a good client? All right, so that's Powers Booth, which makes this a tie game. I went with Ray Winstone. You can see him now in The Black Widow as Dreykov, but when he plays just an English guy, he's always just this mean mob boss. He's wonderful. Well, now we get to the magnificent and elegant Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon.
It's my
I love this character because he doesn't have any fear until he saw that Luke Skywalker was coming. Up until then, he knew no fear. Everything was planned out, but then once he saw that it was a Jedi, he lost his stuff. So, we've got Elizabeth, which is Heather. Heather, the Nerdy Bees goes next. Who do you have playing the evil Moff Gideon?
It's hard to go. Carlos is excellent, right?
He's fantastic.
He's in everything. So I went with another spectacular actor, Ben Kingsley.
Absolutely. He's friend or foe, whatever he does, he's perfection because he can be the great, quiet accountant who is trying to help everyone in Schindler's List, or he can be a
Sneakers.
maniacal, crazy person in Sexy Beast, or he's a bad guy in Sneakers.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Sneakers character I think kind of fits a little bit, even though he doesn't kick butt, but I like that attitude.
You don't like him as Trevor in Iron Man 3?
No, I like him as Snake.
Ben
You know what?
Kingsley.
Oh, no, I love that character, but not as Moff Gideon.
Yeah. So you have someone who's played both Sinner and Saint as Gandhi and Sexy Beast Maniac. Who are
Yeah.
you going to beat? This is good. Oscar winner, Ben Kingsley.
That's very good. And really, in all honesty, I think my pick is either going to make or break me. So I'm hoping everybody is on the same page as I am. I wanted to go with somebody who is a bit taller, who has the energy for this role.
Taller than Ben Kingsley?
Ben Kingsley's 6'1".
Taller than Ben Kingsley.
I'm just letting everybody know. Everybody thinks he's short, but he's not. He's very tall.
Okay.
I went with RuPaul.
RuPaul, how do you like that picture?
Nice.
Is that the one you want?
Love it.
That's the one you're thinking of.
I love it.
All right. RuPaul is awesome.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
I call RuPaul a prestige drag queen because elegant, wonderful.
No. The Queen of Drag.
The queen of drag.
Yeah.
All right. We know her obviously from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes.
But also Crooklyn, the Brady Bunch movie, and of course, the premier cross-dressed transvestite movie, Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Who here has watched Broad City?
Any Broad City folks?
His character Marcel in Broad City, that's the energy that I want for this role. He is amazing in that.
Well, I have to say that is a bold pick and it's very good. I think both of these are absolutely excellent. We've got Ben Kingsley, who can do no wrong, RuPaul, who can do no wrong. So, how many for Ben Kingsley? We got a smattering of golf clap, about 4.
6. I counted 6.
She counted 6.
I'm throwing that out there. I counted.
And how many people think RuPaul?
It's
3. Unfortunately, we're going to have to give that one to Ben Kingsley. I know you were excited
Those are the
about it.
risks.
Yeah,
Those are the risks.
I mean, it was bold. I would like to see it still. I kind of would like to see it.
But I think that was just fractions. So I very bold pick. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I went with Max von Sydow because if you want hardcore, you go with the best, and he can play those evil guys with so much charisma.
For those of us who can't recognize the name,
Ming from he was the Ming from Flash Gordon.
Oh, okay.
He was in The Exorcist.
Okay.
He was in Victory, which we did on our Patreon, which nobody saw, but you should go listen to. He was in The Force Awakens at the beginning. He's the one that first talks to Poe.
Okay.
He was in What Dreams May Come.
Okay. I'm starting to picture it pieces.
Well, now we get to one of the few crossovers that we got, or one of the first crossovers from the Clone Wars animation to live action, and that is Bo-Katan Kryze, played by, of course, Katie Sackhoff, who I hope everyone got to meet because she's wonderful, and she was very animated today. I saw pictures of her, and she was very happy to be here, so that's always awesome. So we're going to go with, it looks like we're starting with you
Should be
again.
me, I believe, yeah.
So, Jared, who do you have playing the Mandalorian, I want to say leader, but not, because she doesn't have the dark saber?
Yeah. So, I actually picked this character based off of eye color and also talent, because she is a very talented actress. I went with Rooney Mara.
Rooney Mara,
Oh,
yes. Always has troubled characters. She was in Social Network, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the reboot. She's the girl with the dragon tattoo. Her and Carol, she's really good. And actually very similar looking to Katie Sackhoff as well. Heather?
So, my character, we know her as somebody that can do a little bum kicking. I'm trying to censor
Yeah, after dropping the
myself.
F-bomb yesterday, she's decided not to do that on my show, which I appreciate. But you can say ass kicking. I'll allow it.
A little.
It's the end of the conference. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Kick us out? We're going to have to leave at 5 o'clock anyway.
Yeah, and I think it'd be exciting to see how she could play this character. And we've seen her in other Disney franchises. Emily Van Camp.
Emily Van Camp, yeah, Sharon Carter. She's known for keeping it in the family, which means she likes to date what her aunt dates. So she and Sharon Carter have shared a kiss or two from Captain America. She was in The Ring 2, Everwood, Brothers and Sisters in Revenge, but definitely the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She is back, and she is bad. All right. So we have Rooney Mara, Emily Van Camp. So who votes for Rooney Mara? Rooney Mara. Okay. And Emily Van Camp, the one in the back. So Rooney Mara, I had Carrie Ann Moss because I think she
yeah.
could kick butt.
Yeah.
So the score is.
back, right.
Say that again.
A few years back, Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah, a young Carrie Ann Moss. Yeah. So right now the score has tied up. It is 3-3. So the next one is for all the marbles,
This one's for
and we go
a
with
literal tiebreaker up until the end.
yeah. So there will not be a tiebreaker.
No, there will not be.
We go with my personal favorite. I covered her up, and this is a great picture of Fennec Shand, played by the great Ming-Na Wen, who
good.
is such a sweet person in real life. So if you ever have a chance to meet her, do so. She's wonderful. So who do you have playing the bounty hunter, who played by a Disney princess, who's in Star Wars? And we'll start with Heather.
Well, somebody that keeps surprising you with what they can do. We went with Gal Gadot.
Absolutely. The thing is, you want her to take off that helmet. Now, Pedro Pascal, he's not my cup of tea. He can keep the helmet on all he wants. But Gal Gadot, we've got to make sure we see her. She's wonderful. She's a wonder of a woman in the Fast and Furious movies, in the Wonder Woman movies. She was in Date Night. She was in Night and Day. And even every once in a while, even she makes a mistake, and she was in Keeping Up with the Joneses. So who do you have to beat the beautiful and talented Gal Gadot?
That's pretty tough. So I think recasting Ming-Na Wen is probably one of the hardest
Absolutely.
ones that I did. I mean, being in all three Disney, Star Wars, and the MCU. So it was really tough. I went with somebody who has similar credentials, obviously not exact, but I went with Zoe Saldana.
Of course, yes. Zoe Saldana, a space-loving beauty, because she's in Avatar, she's Guardians of the Galaxy, and in Star Trek, so we put her out in space a lot. She was in the Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I forgot that she was in that. And then she disappeared. I think those people made a big mistake, because I would have brought Zoe Saldana back, because she is a franchise-quality person you can build off of.
And she also loves Star Wars.
Oh, sure. I know that Ming-Na does too. She was
Yes,
super excited. So
she
you want
was
someone
so
who loves
excited.
the material. So we have Gal Gadot versus Zoe Saldana. So we have Wonder Woman versus Gamora. This is going to be the toughest one of the day. So who wants Gal Gadot as Fennec Shand? Okay. Who wants Zoe Saldana? And with that, Jared McClelland has won the cast-off. I went with Mila Jovovich because I just wanted somebody to kick butt. That is the show for now. So you get the final thought. So this is a chance for you to say anything you want about. You can plug something. You can talk about Comicpalooza. You can talk about guests. Anything you'd like.
First off, I want to say I really had a hard time trying to take this seriously. I almost put Kevin Smith and everybody from the Kevin Smith universe into these roles.
Yeah, and I almost asked him not to come. I was going to cancel him. You were going to get canceled, my friend.
That's okay. I would have lived by it. But definitely check out Houston Indie Podcast Society. We're HIPS HTX on all social media platforms. I also do a podcast with my sisters. It's a Disney podcast. It's called The Three Mouseketeers, and you can find that at T3M Podcast on all social media. Other than that, I definitely want to thank Nerdy Beast because you guys had a great list. Thank you, Matinee Heroes, for having me on, first off. And also thank you, Comicpalooza. Comicpalooza has been a great weekend, as it always is. And I'm looking forward to 2022 for sure.
Well, I also want to remind folks that we're having another episode right after this one. So this is not the end of Cast Off. This is just the beginning. But if you would like to be on the live stream show, so every Tuesday evening to 8 p.m., we do a live stream video presentation. As you see, we got the things going on. And you can go to matineeheroes.com/castoff/application. And if you have a video camera and ability to log on to Zoom, you could be on the show. So matineeheroes.com/castoff/application, or you can just email mhcastoff@gmail.com, which means I will send you the link through the email. Don't think you can bypass the application. You cannot. And of course, follow us on Twitter at The Castoff Show. We have a Facebook group of Matinee Heroes. You can always go to matineeheroes.com/castoff to find your favorite video stream, because we are on twitch.tv and on YouTube. And we need subscribers on YouTube so we can get that custom URL. But we are done for this episode of Matinee Heroes presents Castoff, The Mandalorian. Thank you so much, guys. So on behalf of Heather from Nerdy Bees, Jared, our winner for this episode from the HIPS, I like to call it HIPS.
HIPS, yep.
From
HIPS
the Houston
HTX.
Independent Podcast Society, I'm Craig Price. And please stick around for our next episode where we do Rogue One.